Today's form is standard form. It's a little more complicated. I got the blanks filled in for you, and I'm going to kind of talk through them quickly, so feel free to pause and fill in the blanks here. But standard form is when you have the x and y on the same side, no fractions, no decimals. So they call it the x by the c, ax plus by equals c. We use this form to figure out the x-intercept and y-intercept. And then we're going to plot those where they cross those two axes, and then you just draw a line through them. So when we have the x-intercept crossing the x-axis, every time the y-coordinate is going to equal 0, and in reverse, our y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, and every time it crosses the y-axis, the x-coordinate will equal 0. So we're going to graph the line through these points. If we graph the point 0, 3, that's just up 3. 1, 2, 3. The y-intercept is positive 3. We graph negative 5, 0, that's just to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we just draw a line through them. That's it, man. Try over here. You give that one a whirl. Negative 8, 0, 0, negative 4. Plot them. Draw a line through them. Negative 8, 0, 0, negative 4. Now, if we went next level and said, hey, what's the slope between those points? Remember, slope, we always go left to right. So this one's up 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can't simplify 3/5 at all. If you look at this one, it's down 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that would simplify to negative 1/2. Cool. They didn't even ask us. We're just that cool. Solving for the y-intercept couldn't be easier. You plug in 0 for y, and then you solve for x. You write it as a coordinate. The other one's just going to be the reverse. So you plug in 0 for x, you solve for y, write it as a coordinate. Honestly, that's a lot of wordage. When you substitute in 0 for something, 0 times anything is just 0. So on example 2 here, 4x plus 2y equals 16. If I substitute in 0 for x, 4 times 0 is just 0. It's going to go away. So what I do is I legit just cover up the x's and I write what's left. I would write 2y equals 16. That's going to help me find the y-intercept. We're going to do the same thing with the y's. If I substitute in 0 for y, 2 times 0 is 0, so it would just be 4x. Or just cover up the y's and write what's left. If I cover up the y's, I have 4x equals 16. We get the same thing either way, so do which way works for you. Now, 2y equals 16, if we're solving that, that gives us a y-intercept of 8. Over here, if we divide by 4, 16 divided by 4 gives us an x-intercept of 4. Now, I don't need you to write it as a coordinate because we're just going to start graphing these. But if you did, if the y-intercept was 8, that coordinate would be 0, positive 8. If the x-intercept is 4, that coordinate would be 4, 0. That's not too tough. So here we go. We're going to graph one together, and then I want you to try one. We're going to substitute in 0 for x, aka cover up the x's. If I do that, I'm left with negative 2y equals 12. We're going to do the same thing with the y's. If I cover up the y's, I'm left with 3x equals 12. And again, you would get the same thing if you substitute in 0 for x and then you substitute in 0 for y. I just think it's kind of unnecessary to show that. We're going to solve these both. Divide by negative 2. 12 divided by negative 2 is negative 6. Over here we'll divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now we could write these as coordinates, but again, unnecessary. It's telling us the y-intercept is negative 6. The y-axis is up and down, and it's saying negative 6. That would be down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's telling us the x-intercept is at positive 4. The x-axis is the flat one. Positive 4 would be to the right 4. There's our two intercepts. You just draw your line through them and you're done. That's not bad, right? If you want to write it as a coordinate, it'd be 0, -6, 4, 0. So there's one more in the notes for you to try. Why don't you pause it here, try it out, see how you do. I'm going to start going over it. So my two equations would be -3x equals 30 and 5y equals 30. Over here we'll divide by -3, which gives us the x-intercept of -10. If we want to write it as a coordinate, we can, -10, 0. But x is the flat axis, -10 would be to the left. So it's going to cross right there at -10. Over here, we'll divide both sides by 5. Our y-intercept is +6. Again, if you want it as a coordinate, that's 0, 6. Y is the up and down axis, and it is up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll draw our line through the two things here. And we're all done.